You're watching 3 Questions with Kat. Overcome your obstacles and find success.
We're back for another episode of 3 Questions with Kat, and I've got James with me. You probably recognize him. We are working together on another project, which you will soon see. But James, do you know what people want to know? What stops people from succeeding?
I think what stops most people from succeeding is they haven't given themselves permission to be a success. So, we tend to stifle our own activity, or we stop short of what we know we need to do to compound and build toward that goal. So we just don't do it. We don't really try. And then when we don't succeed, we're like, well, I didn't really try, so that's why I didn't succeed.
I have a client like that, yeah.
They're so afraid to try hard, and you might fail. You might not make it, but at least you tried. You have to give it a go, because how will you be able to deal with yourself if you don't go for it?
So do you think the permission is tied into fear of failure in some ways then?
I do, but I also fear, there's another fear that a lot of people don't talk about, fear of success. We're so afraid to be successful because then you'll have to keep it up.
Yeah, once I get there, I'm going to have to maintain it.
That's right.
Ugh.
So you'll have to keep working. You'll have to keep trying. So if you never ever try, then you don't have to keep trying. That's tough. But you have to go for it.
Yeah.
Look at us. We're going for it. We went for it. We're still going for it.
Yeah.
You have to do it too.
And you never arrive. You never reach that mountaintop. You're going to still have goals when you're 90.
Success is a journey, not a destination.
That's hard to hear when you're young.
It is. I know.
You're like, if I just reach this thing, get
there.
if I could just be, and then you get there and you're like,
Yeah, you think life will be perfect when you get there.
Don't you just love that
And
quote
then it's not.
from Jim Carrey? Says something like, I wish everybody could be rich and famous and successful so that they can see that is not the answer.
That's not the answer.
And how many successful people do you know that just
They say the same thing.
end it all?
Yeah,
Because
that's
there's
true.
no fulfillment
That's right.
in that destination.
And
They
don't
didn't
really-
take joy in the journey.
They don't tend to have anyone around them that's real anymore.
Yeah, all the people that want you because of what you can do for them or get for them or buy for them.
That's right.
All right, second question.
Okay.
How do you overcome obstacles?
Oh, wow.
You got stuff standing in the way between you and your goals.
Right,
Like,
it goes back to the mindset. You have to, I tell people that even if you take a step in the wrong direction, at least you've taken a step.
yeah,
And you keep taking those steps, and if it's in the wrong direction, you'll run into a closed door, and you know that's not the route you need to go.
Yeah.
So then you can turn around and start going the other direction. But you have
you're
to
right.
take those steps.
So many people get paralyzed by not knowing what to do. I was guilty of that for so long, but I don't know what to do. Well, do something. Do head in the direction you think it might be. Because even if you're wrong, you can always course correct. Or like you said, you reach a closed door, you're like, okay, that wasn't it.
That wasn't it.
Let's see what other door I can knock on.
But you have Google, so do you really have an excuse for not knowing how to do something? Someone has figured out how to do what it is you're trying to do.
That's
you probably
true.
saw someone else do it, and you're like, hey, I can do that.
Yeah.
So read their story. Follow them.
That's true.
Figure it out. You
You
can.
know, that, and then just overcoming in life, like reading biographies,
That's right.
reading people's stuff that they've been through. That's so inspirational, especially if you think, oh, no one else has done this. So you're right. You go on Google, you're like, oh, other people have done this. That means it is possible.
Definitely is possible.
Okay, the final question, James, is what do you wish you would have known 5 years ago?
Wow. 5 years ago. I actually wish I would have given myself permission to be successful. Because even though I was pushing toward what I wanted to do, it was really fueled with a lot of anger, which isn't all bad, but it's sometimes you get to the point where you're just trying to prove other people wrong.
Yeah.
When, you have something in your spirit that you believe that you are.
Yeah.
So you have to prove yourself right.
Rather than prove, so someone says, you can't do that, you're not going to be able to do that. I
would store that. I would store it.
And that's the wrong fuel in the tank. It's like
Every morning I wake
If you're
up,
supposed to
they're
drive
wrong
diesel,
about me.
if you're supposed to drive diesel, then you can't put regular
Can't
gas
put unleaded.
in.
That's right.
And it will stall you. So
Yes.
just like you said, you thinking of like, I'm going to prove them wrong every morning. I'm angry that they said I couldn't. You're not starting from a place of love and generosity and openness and thankfulness and what can I receive? It's coming just from a negative space. And
Very
that,
stressful too.
oh my gosh,
It'll
yes.
drive you down, for sure.
So you'd sum that up by saying what? The 5 years ago you wish you would have given yourself permission?
5 years ago, I wish I would have loved the journey more.
Yes.
Instead of just trudging through it,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I know I have to do this, but instead, no, I get to do this.
Yes.
I am blessed.
The
today
good and
to
the
try
bad.
and do this.
The
Yes.
good, like that all goes with it to get where you're going.
It's all part of that successful
Bad
journey.
days. Sometimes we're preparing for 4 or 5 hours to go to an audition and we're only in the room for 5 minutes.
That long.
Or
That's
2
right.
minutes.
That's right.
They sometimes just look at you and are like, you can already tell they don't want you, but
Right.
they go through the motions. Okay, let's see what you got. Okay,
Let's see
bye.
what you got. Okay,
And
thanks.
you're just spending 2 hours in traffic thinking all the way home all the things you could have done
All the things-
differently.
I could have gone in the room a little differently. They would have saw me. Nah, it just wasn't for you.
James, tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Levon the Gent, Levon the Gent, or you can find me on YouTube, James Nichols II.
Awesome. Thanks for chatting with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Get the tips you need to reach your dreams.